another conversation between Jordan Peterson and Ben Shapiro. I'm here for it.
Me too. Let's go.
What is good? Welcome back to the Flawdcast. I am your boy Flawdzilla, and I'm here with my lovely co-host Mozilla.
What up, y'all?
It's the last normal place on the internet, and we're glad that you could be here with us today, and you will be too. Now, without further ado, I forgot. Yeah. All right, okay, right? Whatever. Let's run it back. Let's run it back. Hold up. Okay. What is good? Welcome back to the Flawdcast. I am your boy Flawdzilla, and I'm here with my lovely co-host Mozilla.
What up, y'all?
This is the last normal place on the internet, and we are glad that you could be here with us today. All right, okay, and you will be too. Now, without further ado, please like the video, make sure to comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can be notified whenever we drop. This video, like we said in the beginning, is from the Daily Wire, Ben Shapiro's channel. It is another conversation between Ben Shapiro and Jordan Peterson. Yes. We did a video already on one of the parts of this, and it was an amazing video. If you like deep conversations, but that is also stream of consciousness and not like it's just conversation, you know what I'm saying? So our conversation branched off of their conversation. It was a very good conversation.
I liked it. I enjoyed it.
So that's why we're back for another one.
Part two.
So yeah, this one is on transgenderism.
Word.
The first one was on freedom of speech, right? Yeah. This one's on transgenderism, and I'm here for it. You know, interesting topic. You know. So, without further ado, let's jump right into this thing.
Spaghetti.
My bad.
Spaghetti.
Let's get it.
This is why, I mean, it's funny because I think that, you know, the issue that you started to become really politically prominent on, which is the Bill C-16 in Ontario and
Canada, it's federal law.
In Canada, the gender issue.
Yeah.
You know, that's the issue where now the question that's constantly being asked, so why do you even care? Why do you even pay attention? And the answer is because...
I was asked that earlier today.
Oh, really? What did you say?
I'm not letting a cat have my tongue.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's like it has nothing to do with gender as far as I'm concerned, or that's peripheral in some sense. So the accusation, why do you care? Fair enough. It's like, you know, in some way, people can go to hell in a handbasket if they're inclined to. Now, I would rather have that not happen, but people are, what would you say, doomed to their own autonomy. But I'm not saying words that other people want me to say. And the idea of compelled speech, it's like, the bill was this much about gender.
Right.
And it was this much about, oh yeah, the government's going to tell me what to say, hey. But now they're regulating what therapists can say, therapy sessions.
This is interesting because to me, the problem
Wait, what?
Yo, that is crazy.
That's a real thing?
I guess so. He's a therapist. Isn't he a psychiatrist or psychologist? Yeah.
Clinical psychologist.
So he must know. Yo, if Jordan Peter says it, I believe it.
Jordan Peterson.
Jordan Peter.
It's like already the rugged man.
If Jordan Peter says it, that's why, because Jordan Jeter.
Yo.
I need to stop smoking weed.
What is going on right now?
Never mind. I'm done.
You sound like already the rugged man.
Fucking done, yo. I'm not that guy, yo. No, for real.
A lot of this is less a free speech.
If Jordan Peterson says it, I believe it.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to fucking say in the first place.
And I'm not surprised, actually. It's kind of crazy, but I'm not surprised that they would try to tell therapists what they can and cannot say. That's fucking crazy.
These days.
So you don't want people to be helped.
No.
You don't do the work that it takes to be a therapist. And the thing about therapy, right, is like there's no guaranteed fix, right?
Outcome.
You're working with people to get to that point.
Yes.
So how the fuck can you tell someone what they're doing isn't working if they go to school for this and think that it is working? Isn't that all it is?
Legit. It's supposed to be like, you don't even know what the hell I'm supposed to be saying in my therapy session.
Yeah,
you don't know. You're not supposed to know what is going on. So how can you say that? That I'm not allowed to say something?
That's why, though.
Crazy.
That's why, to get around shit like that.
Yeah.
Those kind of laws, privacy laws. But that's Canada, so I don't really know what their privacy laws are. But it's just basically just to impose on humans.
Wild.
Yep. Like we control you, We get to tell you what can be said to you and what can't be said to you, what you can say, what you can't say. It's crazy.
Therapy sessions.
This is interesting because to me, the problem with a lot of this is less a free speech issue, even though I'm on the same page with you. And to me, it really is a fundamental truth issue, meaning that, yeah, you're trying to force me to say something I don't want to say. But to me, the fact that what you're trying to force me to say is so
wrong?
innately opposed to the good.
It's actually wrong.
Is the problem. Like you could
Yes.
try, I would have objections to you forcing me to say that I like a particular movie, right? It may not be true. I don't like the particular movie. It would be bad if you tried to force me to say that. But the level of passion that I have for issues like this one really go to the fact that I think the fundamental good of humanity relies on basic acknowledgements of biological truth, especially when it comes to
on.
gender.
I agree.
How can you argue that?
It could never go in the right way if you just start not acknowledging the
Yes.
facts. That's the whole thing about us being able to live longer now and like
Yes.
you know what I'm saying?
Medicinal.
Yeah, medicine getting better, fucking technology getting better, all this shit going up is because you're acknowledging the actual facts. You know what I'm saying? Like you're basing it off of something that you've learned that is fact.
Studies,
and now you
science.
get to use the facts to progress, to move things forward. You use the things that are actually there, the tools that you have to move things forward with a little bit of imagination. That's where the fucking thinking comes in. That's where that comes in. The fantasy, not, oh, we figured this out, so now we're just gonna cover it up with some bullshit. Like now, okay, so we have gender, we have that figured out, so now we're just gonna say add a million things on top of it, so then the actual truth gets buried underneath that in the future generations. Like they're purposely trying to change the fabric of society. They're trying to throw so much garbage on top of traditions that they make you think that America has no traditions. But there's traditions being created right now that are just in spite of traditions that are already there.
That were brought up.
Yes.
Like
that there's nothing wrong with.
Yeah, like why fix, like they
You don't need to fix it.
Don't fix it if it's not
If
broken.
you have your own beliefs, that's cool.
Yeah.
But they're trying to force their beliefs. They're trying to say our beliefs should be acknowledged by everyone. When
How
that's
is that
never been the
fair?
case in America.
How is that fair?
It's never been the case.
That's
But
insane.
right now that's how you know they're trying to just convince you to change America for free. They're trying to convince you to take the freedoms out of America. That's all they're trying to do.
Yep.
In any different way, all of these the
Any way
one
possible.
yes, the common thread from all of these things that are happening is it imposes on the freedoms of America.
Yes.
That's the common thread
That is
of
the
everything that they're trying to do.
denominator. Yep.
And they're using your emotions to do it. They're taking advantage of stupidity and emotions. And that's how they're doing all of this.
They sure are.
Ignorance, people who don't know any better, they're telling you it's okay to not know anything and just make crazy claims.
Yeah, like-
and act like it's true and make everyone believe it. And if they don't, then they're
Don't
phobic.
worry, they have to.
And they're
Yeah.
ist. All these ists and isms and phobics. This is crazy, man. Crazy. But you'll never get like more people. There's more and more people like this every day. Like you're not gonna tell me what to say.
No.
That's the thing. Like it for a second it seemed like everybody was listening. Everyone was bowing down and listening to this shit. But the more and more
Got
I'm
out of
like,
hand.
yeah, the more and more I think freely, I see that there's more free thinkers that are
Agreed.
existing that are
Yes.
like, no,
Wait a second.
absolutely not. Which makes more and more free thinkers. People feel more comfortable. That's why this is like YouTube is
A great.
that's why they're trying so hard to like censor it, because they know it's just creating free thinkers.
Yeah.
Because this is the way your brain works naturally. Your brain is free thinking, and they're purposely trying to oppress it to create unrest. They're trying to create all these different things so then they can prove that we're animals that need to be reined in without unwillingly reined in. You know what I'm saying? That's how they're trying to make it seem. It's crazy.
It is
Crazy. And they're creating all these issues so then they can make it look like these issues are real.
Literally, and like, what are they gonna do when there's nothing else to, like?
They'll have complete control.
There's no more or there's
They're not
nothing
gonna
else to
stop until they
complain
have complete
about,
control.
or there's nothing else to.
There's nothing to complain about now. They've
That's what I'm
created these
saying.
things.
Like, they're just gonna keep going and
They
going.
literally people are mad that you're not calling them made up words. You understand that that's a created issue?
Yes,
That's a manufactured
absolutely.
issue. They're mad
Like, how far can
that
they
you're not
go?
that you're not calling them created words. Words that have no basis in anyone else's language except for the person that is making them up.
Yep.
And they're trying to say that everyone needs to learn it because one person says it. Like, no, that's not how it works. These are literally created issues on purpose. And they're making it seem as if you don't agree with it, then there's something wrong with you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no.
Yep.
No. I've been thinking like this since I was a kid. I'm a free thinker. You're not going to force me to do anything. I'm an American.
BS.
You know?
Who's ever dealt with children. I find myself getting, if I look at my own political evolution, I would say that when I grew up in a religious home, so that means that pretty conservative. And then you go to college and you're living by yourself and you're not married, you don't have kids. You tend to become a little bit more libertarian, which is like, okay, let everybody do whatever they're going to do and it's not going to bother me. And then you have kids and you realize that there's a pool in which we are all swimming. And that pool is going to define...
Virginia.
Exactly. Like my kid, it's going to determine how my kid lives. And I want my community to reflect some of my values because I don't want my kid to live in the toxic sludge that you are creating for my kid. I don't want you indoctrinating my kids in bullshit about whether
exactly.
a boy can be a girl or a girl can be a
People will say, well, I'll exceed, but not for my children. Yeah. And that's what Virginia demonstrated. It's like, you can come after me, but you come after my kids, and that's a whole different story.
It's so fundamentally opposed to everything true, and the fact that that's the insistence. The insistence isn't that people be treated humanely or be treated decently. The insistence is that your vision of yourself be reflected by me in defiance of baseline reality and in order to redefine how society as a whole works.
Well, a lot of it's murky.
How much sense does that even make? Exactly. You want me to reflect your traditions, but you don't give a fuck about mine?
Exactly. Just like when we say...
We're individuals.
Yes, just like when we say everybody, these people that are offended because they don't get called their proper pronouns or the words that they make up that they want to be called, and they can get offended that they're not being called that, but I can't be offended that you even want me to call you that. You know what I'm saying? Like, why can't I have feelings about it? That's not fair. That's bull. That's bull.
Because then they just say that you are wrong. You are wrong. They just paint the picture as you are wrong. If you say anything against that group of people.
But then it's like, okay, I'm wrong.
And you're not even saying that against them. You're just saying no.
Yeah, but now you're wrong because you're literally doing what, it's so.
There's no logic.
Oh my God,
there's no
hurts.
logic.
It hurts.
There's no logic to their actions. That's the thing. And it's not even actions. It's just a bunch of talking.
Legit.
And then they want you to legislate it. Like, are you crazy?
Yep. Speech.
Crazy.
Speech.
Thinking. If someone asked me, do I believe that there are gender fluid people? I would say yes.
Yeah.
And I would say a young man who's gender fluid, I know what he's like temperamentally. He's high in agreeableness. He's high in neuroticism, so he has a feminine temperament. He's more interested in people than things, and he's extremely high in openness. And so his temperament is fluid.
Yeah.
He's creative,
Everything
and
is
so
fluid.
he's one thing one day and one thing the next.
Absolutely.
And his fundamental temperament is tilted towards the feminine.
But how does that dictate any kind of laws, any kind of anything else in the world? How does that affect anybody else? Why does everybody else have to get pulled into your existence? You could be that, do your thing, but why does it have anything to do with anyone else? Why do you need the world to do what you want them to do? When you're doing, there's people who don't agree with what you're doing. Mm-hmm. But you should be allowed to do what you do, but we shouldn't be allowed to do what we do, which is just exist. Just like you're trying to do. You're just trying to exist. So isn't everybody else. Like, it shouldn't even matter what everyone else does. It really shouldn't. And then they try to frame it as if, well, we're out here getting beaten and killed and all this. Like, the average person is not going to beat up any of these groups of people. They're not doing anything like that. They're just trying to exist.
Yes.
So trying to make it seem like that is crazy. You want everybody to do everything because of a few psychos. No. I just want to live my life. That's it. I want nothing to do with any of you motherfuckers. Unless we meet and we're friends, like, hey, what's up, da-da-da, then cool. We could discuss anything you want to then. But you're not about to force me, who doesn't know you, to live by your rules. True. You're not, because I know I'm not hurting nobody. I live in my mind. Get out of here.
Straight up.
Me existing, you don't even have to hear what I say. Don't watch my videos. Don't listen to me as a person. You don't have to do anything. Keep it pushing. The YouTube has a button that has 3 things on it that says, don't show me any more from this creator. Click it.
Yes.
That's it. Now you never have to hear my hate speech or whatever the fuck you want to call it ever again. Because I'm not going to say it to you because I don't care. I do not care about what you're doing. I don't. I'm
Absolutely.
giving my opinion on a video. You know, I truly do not care. And I wouldn't even be talking about this if it wasn't trying to be forced down my throat.
Every time you turn.
Yeah.
Every time you turn.
Yeah,
it's
this
like,
wouldn't even be a
yo.
thing. I wasn't sitting here worried about this shit. You know what I'm saying? This wasn't the shit I was worried about until people started calling me phobic for having an opinion.
Right?
Like, what? I'm walking around I can't say anything without people saying I'm the bottom of society just because I have an opinion. I'm not trying to hurt nobody, nigga.
For real, it's
Like,
insane.
I'm not about to live that. I'm not about to live like that. I'm not. I'd rather just say fuck you and keep it pushing.
Why
and
not?
give my opinion and let
think-
everybody else know who's being called all these names.
For real.
Like, we all know we ain't evil. We all know we're good
Exactly.
people. We ain't
You're
out here
gonna-
hurting nobody.
You're going to think what you
You
want
ain't
to
alone.
be anyways, so fuck it.
Exactly. Imagine, in today's age, if you're white, you could agree with everything, and you're still racist in their eyes, in these type of people's eyes. Like, you're still
Legit.
phobic just because you're a white person, especially if
other
you're a
white
white
people,
man.
too.
Yes, and especially if you're a white man.
Oh, forget it.
Your existence automatically is offensive. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Sick.
You're not even allowed to exist. Crazy as hell. But there's nothing bad about that, right?
No, they're white. They're
Because
fine.
they're colonizers and conquerors. Yeah,
Yeah.
even though majority of white people I know couldn't colonize a fucking apartment if they wanted to.
They ain't conquering shit.
They ain't
either.
conquering nothing. Like, they're caught up in the same bullshit, just like everybody else
real.
in this goddamn
Straight
world.
up.
They're going through the same exact struggles, trials, and tribulations. You know? But they're colonizers and conquerors. Okay. Fuck out of here. I don't want to hear it, man.
But that doesn't mean he's not a man.
Right, exactly.
So so it's murky thinking. And so
And yes, and back to what he was saying, we went wherever we went. But again, you could have all of those qualities. You could be that if you want. But technically, you are a man, and to try to force people to acknowledge you a different way, it's crazy. Like, in social, okay, if you want someone to not call you a man, fine, but you can't make them call you something. Like, in social, like if it has nothing to do with like
no
biology, nothing like that,
legalities.
no nothing.
Yep.
If you don't like if you say it's offensive for someone to call you a man, whatever, if that person doesn't call you anything, there shouldn't be an issue. But
Straight
that's
up.
not okay.
No, you have to.
Yes, you have to refer to them the way they want you to refer to them.
Wow.
Yeah.
I just can't. That
That
like
or else
it's
you're
so
all
crazy.
that. You're phobics. You're all these things just because you say no. I'm not just talking in your made up language.
I'll be like, okay, and just turn around and not talk to you. Then,
Yeah, that's what I'm
'cause
saying.
it
What?
is what
That's
it
the
is.
thing. That makes me just not want to be around people
Yeah.
like that. You know.
I don't need to speak to you. That's another
As soon
thing
as
I
people
don't
start talking
have
like
to
that.
do.
Yep.
I also don't have to have a conversation with you.
Exactly.
So it is what it is.
As soon as people start talking like that, it's like, nah, I'd rather not speak to you. I'd rather not even have this conversation. See you later. See you later. And that's how it turns into. And then they really make it seem like, oh, you don't even want to have conversations with these people. You are really a bigot. Like, no, bro, no, I'm not a bigot. That's the thing. I'm not. And you're not about to tell me I am. See you later. The fuck?
Straight up.
I have no problem with nobody. I have a problem with people trying to force me to be what they want me to be. That's it.
That's exactly right.
it's certainly the case that 1 out of 10 women, now it depends on where you put the cutoff point, say, but you could say with reasonable certainty that 1 in 10 women has a masculine temperament and 1 in 10 men has a feminine temperament. And so that's a lot of people. And those people, especially if they're also creative, well, they're kind of at a loss in relationship to what to do with their identity, because they're pulled, first of all, they have a hard time catalyzing their identity. Creative people have a hard time catalyzing it. It's like the definition of creativity. They're protean. And so there have been people who play at the edges of gender identity forever. And fair enough. And sometimes that's even admirable if it's done in a sophisticated way. And it's charismatic. So you see it in Mick Jagger, you see it in David Bowie, you see it in people like Madonna as well, because Madonna had a hard edge, that was very masculine. And all the Marvel superhero women have a hard masculine edge. And so we find that charismatic because those people are also integrated. But the notion that there's such a thing as gender, that's not right. There's variability in personality and temperament. And the idea that, that there's no such thing as biological sex, that's just insane.
It's insanity.
Like, there's
they've abstracted gender from sex and then read gender back into sex is more important than sex. It's
well, and then why insist upon the biological modifications?
Right.
Exactly.
If there's no such thing as sex.
Woo! Right there. If there's no such thing, then what do you need the sex change for?
You're right.
If it's not technically a thing, right? Why do you need the sex change? That's weird.
Yeah, why does it matter?
If it means nothing.
Yeah.
If it means nothing, why the change? Crazy. It makes no sense.
Okay.
It makes no sense. If it means nothing, why even label it? Just fucking live your life. You shouldn't care.
Yeah,
but no, you truly care a lot.
Yeah.
You care a lot because you're attaching it to your identity.
Yeah.
Which is the craziest thing. Like, I don't even think about whether or not I'm a nigga or I'm a bitch. I just live my life. That's it. Legit.
I would never. I couldn't even imagine. But
I know technically I'm a man.
Yeah.
Right? Straight man who likes women, and it is what it is. Like, but I'm not sitting here thinking about I'm a straight man who likes women and like attaching that to my name isn't straight flawed.
No.
Like non-binary, whatever.
Yeah.
Like straight male flawed. Like, doesn't even make no sense.
Cis male.
I'm just me. Yeah. Like, this is the type of shit they're attaching all these things because you automatically become a specific type of like a certain level of civilization.
Yeah.
When you attach yourself to these groups, it's like automatic. It's like a cheat code. You know what I'm saying? In society. Yeah. Everyone has to not forgive you. Everyone has to like abide by your shit, or everyone else will say that those people are attacking you. You know what I'm saying? So you have like the protection, just automatic protection, regardless of what kind of person you are, of a group of people.
And you can just say that.
And you can just say anything.
Just to get the protection.
Yes, and you can just be a crazy ass person who just wants to be crazy. And you still just automatically get the protection of these people that are virtue signaling and want to feel like they're heroes. That's really what it is, and it's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it is. It's absolutely.
Like, well, what? Then just act out your role.
Right.
Leave your body alone because it's irrelevant anyways. Well, it turns out it's not irrelevant. You have to go through the surgical transformation, which is a pretty dramatic answer to a question that for 99% of people who are ambivalent about their gender identity would be best solved without surgical intervention.
Yep.
And then so now in Canada, because they banned conversion therapy, it's now all affirmation therapy.
Right.
There's no such thing as affirmation therapy.
Right. No, it's insane. I mean, the semantic game that was used in order to say
affirmation therapy. That means like to double down on it, right?
Like
I am a woman. I am a woman. I am a woman.
Yes.
Like rather than saying conversion, like I'm a man. I'm a man. I'm a man.
Yeah.
Rather than taking you away from what you actually aren't and telling you that you are what you are. They had the therapy to just tell you that you aren't what you actually are.
And the
That's
other
so
one's,
backwards.
and conversion's not allowed.
That's so wild. Neither one of them should be allowed. That's the thing.
No, I don't think
That's
so
crazy.
either. Just therapy.
That's just crazy.
I think therapy should be allowed. That's it.
But no, if there is going to be a therapy that's going to convert you, it should convert you to what you actually are. I do believe that because you are that technically. Like if they're like what doesn't make sense is therapy to tell you that you aren't what you are. That should be illegal.
Yes.
The fuck is that? That is playing with someone's brain. That's by enabling craziness.
That's
because
wild.
what you technically are, like what if people go to conversion therapy because they want to try it? Like I don't want to be this. For whatever reason, I want to be this. Like, why is that not allowed? Why? Like, what if someone wants that? You just automatically say, no, that's wrong.
Right? Yeah, if they want,
that's wrong.
Yep.
You shouldn't hate yourself, but you can take this therapy to tell you that you aren't what you are.
Yep.
Because you need to be convinced.
Wild.
Like, it doesn't make any sense. What if someone wants to be converted and they think that it might work?
Yeah, you should be
What
allowed.
if they're in
they should
so
be allowed
much?
to.
Yes. Like you should be able to do what you want to do. If you're able to convert to something that you're not, it should not be illegal to have conversion therapy to what you actually are. You know You know what I'm saying? Technically, I don't care. I don't care if people think that sounds crazy or not. Like, obviously, conversion therapy for kids is wild. But I'm just saying, if it's voluntary.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, because nobody can even, it really shouldn't be illegal because nobody can make you go to that.
That's what I'm saying.
therapy.
If you're a kid, they can.
Yes.
Right? They'll try that.
Yes.
That's what the whole issue was in the past, right? Was trying to put kids in conversion therapy. That's an issue. But if there's an adult that wants to try conversion therapy to be convinced that they are what they actually are.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like that bad of a therapy because you are born that. You're trying to get into what you are, what God made you.
Yes.
I don't see there really being an issue of that because people are trying to do that all day long. Like without help. Imagine you have someone to help you. Like you can't, you're automatically going to say that's wrong. No, that's because you're trying to lead society to a certain direction.
A path. Yeah.
Yes. You're trying to lead society to this open, free thinking, but I want to be trapped fucking mind state.
The opposite.
What you're trying to do.
Yeah,
yes.
You think you're free thinking.
Yes. But it's ignorant, and it leads you to believe ignorant things. It makes ignorant things possible in your head. Things that are not possible. It makes those things possible in your head so then people can come out of left field with some crazy-ass suggestion and have you open-minded to it. Like, okay, yeah, maybe let's do it. And then now you're in a camp. You know, crazy, man.
Well, conversion therapy, which was at one time using electric shock.
Well, I'm not talking about that.
Yeah. Hell no.
And
I'm not talking about electric shock. When I'm talking about conversion therapy, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about actual therapy, like sitting there, like, okay, so it's maybe, you know what I'm saying? Who's to say that wouldn't work?
Yeah.
If it for some cases, like there's no, obviously everyone is different, so there's different types of shit, you know. What if they're like, I think conversion therapy would work for you, like in a way where it doesn't, like people are obviously gonna always, just because I'm saying this, like people who want to say negative, they're gonna always attach it to what conversion therapy meant in the past.
Yes.
But that's not what I'm saying. Obviously, people who know what I'm talking about know what I'm talking about, but they're gonna try to attach. So I have to keep on saying, no, not only this, but it shouldn't be wrong for someone to want to try to understand
what they're going through.
Yes, what they are going through actually. You know what I'm saying? If someone can come up with the practice of it or somehow.
Of course.
You know, it is what it is, because that's all therapy is anyway.
Yeah.
You know, bunch of experimenting basically.
Yep.
Because it's not guaranteed to help nobody. So why not?
Saying that's the same thing as you have a gender confused 12-year-old.
Look, I had a 14-year-old kid who was a client.
And I think it's better than telling kids that they can transition.
Yes, I agree.
Allowing kids to transition, you know?
Yep.
Saying that's the same thing as you have using electric shock. It's insane. I mean, this is
There's no such thing as affirmation therapy.
Right. No, it's insane. I mean, the semantic game that was used in order to say, well, conversion therapy, which was at one time using electric shock to treat homosexuals. Yeah. And saying that's the same thing as you have a gender confused 12-year-old.
Look, I had a 14-year-old kid who was a client of mine, and he was in the mid stages of puberty. He was a pretty creative kid, agreeable kid as well, right? And that's important. So he had a bit of a feminine temperament. That also meant he could be pushed around fairly easily.
Yeah.
Well, there was an aggressively gay guy in his school was hitting on him.
That sound like a fucking like a type of like a society.
Yeah.
The guy gay in society. The guy gay in civilization.
And trying to convince him that he was gay. Aggressively gay guy in his school is hitting on him and trying to convince him that he was gay.
Bro, and that's the thing. There's so many. I personally know gay guys like that who like. I like turning straight guys. Like, do you know how crazy that sounds? That's not okay.
That's
deviant behavior.
Definitely not okay.
That is deviant behavior. That's what the fuck. Why? You don't know what the fuck kind of struggle this person's having up in their head, bro.
For real, because you could
want to play on
legit,
that.
Because who knows
Take
if
advantage
he's,
of that.
Yeah, you might not be turning him. You might just be fucking with
he's
his
just confused,
head even
bro.
more.
He could just be confused.
Legit.
Because look at all of the media and propaganda that's being used on Americans' minds, on humans' minds. That shit does fuck with you. So imagine there's some people who are gonna be more susceptible, less susceptible, and see shit, and it's gonna fuck with them even more. Like, no, bro, that's not okay. But there's plenty of people out here who are taking advantage of that.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Well, he didn't know, so he wanted on him and trying to convince him that he was gay. Well, he didn't know, so he wanted to talk to me about it.
Joe Exotic
I was going to tell him. I didn't what the hell do I know about this kid?
Exactly.
You know, and I wanted to hear what his problems were and how it might be sorted out, what he wanted. And like that's what you do in therapy, is you help people sort out their problems.
Yep.
Now this idea is you come to me with an axiomatic claim, whatever it is about your identity, and my job is to rubber stamp it. It's like, I'm not a therapist then. So this is not only insane, this
Just
insistence.
like, yeah, you're that.
Like I like to think of truth, untruth, and anti-truth, right? And the notion that therapists affirm is an anti-truth because, look, let's say you come to me and you say, you have a proposition about yourself, and I say, no, I'm your therapist. No, that's wrong. It's like, that's not good therapy.
Yeah.
But neither is you have a proposition about yourself and you're disturbed enough to come to a therapeutic session, and I say, yes, you're right.
Yeah, you're
like,
that.
I don't know if you're right.
Continue with that.
Yes.
And if you're so right, why are you here?
That's basically what I was just saying when I just said they're purposely creating these people who are willing to believe impossible things, ignorant things, things that aren't true.
Worlds.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like that is the anti-truth. Like you're purposely making this person so open-minded to ridiculousness that they will vote for fucking speech legislation because someone's calling them a name. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're like, as crazy as that sounds, they don't even see the issue of why that's an issue. Like, they just automatically can believe that it's a good thing to legislate the speech.
Hate speech.
Yeah, and that's because they are all around you telling you, be open-minded, like allow all of this shit. Be so fluid about everything. Nothing matters. Like nihilist, you know what I'm saying? Like nihilistic, like nothing matters, and what really matters is how you feel. And that's what you need to be pushing on everyone. If they tell you that you're wrong, they hate you, and they're phobic, and they're bigots, and all these things. Like, the fuck type of society do we live in?
What about other people's feelings?
No one else matters except for these marginalized groups, I guess, right? But we're all supposed to be getting along. How the fuck do you get along when only one person's being listened to? It's crazy.
You don't.
Like, what are we talking about if you're already right?
It's a destruction of basically the only form of therapy that we know to work.
Yes,
Cognitive behavioral therapy. It's all about saying that
so are the rest of them. They're all this is one of the things that's interesting about clinical psychology. Every single school of psychotherapy is predicated on the idea that free expression of thought or the free transmutation of behavior is curative. And it's true with cognitive behavioral therapy, just like psychoanalytic therapy. It's all the same thing. And also, the other axiom of therapy is voluntarily expose yourself in measured doses to what you're afraid of.
So he's saying that therapy, for the most part, is not to help the behavior. It's to make you feel okay about doing the behavior. It's to make you feel okay with the behavior.
Not change it.
And not change it. You should just be able to deal with it on a daily basis and be okay with yourself. That's what he's saying. Like they think that it's curative to just let you do whatever you want.
Okay.
And feel good about it. That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to get free. You're trying to feel free in what you do. Yeah. That's crazy.
That helps.
That's crazy. You got to understand that there's boundaries in life and society. Society, there's rights, wrongs. There's like we all got to come to a consistent reality.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? In order for this shit to work. Everyone can't just be thinking different because we're never going to ever get anywhere. We're never going to get anywhere. Like, there should be people who think differently, and those are the creatives. Those are the artists. But that shouldn't be everybody in the goddamn country. Everyone in the country shouldn't be the people, shouldn't, like, have no idea what the fuck is going on.
Because now, look.
Yeah. Like, there has to be some kind of constant.
You don't get anywhere.
Literally get nowhere. This country is breaking down because of this fucking behavior.
So that's an interesting thing because yourself in measured doses to what you're afraid of.
Exposure therapy.
So that's an interesting thing because the psychoanalysts believed when the behaviorists first came up with exposure therapy, they had it formulated wrong. They thought you learn to be afraid. So you're normal, and then something hurts you, and then you learn to be afraid.
Now you're afraid.
That's wrong. You're always afraid,
yeah.
Except when you learn not to. So they had it exactly backwards neuropharmacologically. And it really
he is on another level, bro. This man is.
You're always afraid, except when you learn not to be. Yo, he's a beast.
He just needs to be talking all the time. He just always needs to be talking. Like in America, he should just be going on tour everywhere.
Yes.
Like he should be one of the like people that everyone in this country is like. He's one of the scholars of this time. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like how we have like Socratic like people were saying, Socratic comes from Socrates. Like Jordan Peterson should be thought of in that kind of way, man.
Yeah.
Even though he's probably just like applying all these different things that he's learned, but still he
helps.
I like the
people.
way that he thinks,
Me too.
man.
He helps me understand things.
Yes, and he's very and he cares about what he's talking about.
Hell yeah.
He's not just talking. He looks like he stresses himself out with these topics.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like the way you see him, like the different type of things he does while he's talking. He's really thinking about these things. Love this guy, man. Look at his face.
Hell yeah.
He's dead ass serious, bro.
Afraid, except when you, and then you learn to be afraid of it. That's wrong. You're always afraid, except when you learn not
he's a
to.
beast.
So they had it exactly backwards neuropharmacologically, and it really matters. This matters. That doesn't mean you can't learn some fears. You can, but mostly you unlearn terror.
Yeah,
Right? So
I can
children
see
are
that.
afraid to get away from
why-
their mother.
Yep, exactly. That's why kids are afraid when their
Yes.
mother walks away.
And then they're not.
And then they're not. And then kids are on the edge of the bed and they're afraid, and then they eventually fucking jump and hurt themselves. And then they can learn fear from that. On top of that, you can learn fear, but that fear is already there. And then you learn whether the fear is right.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Whether having that fear is right after you expose yourself to it. Right? Like,
Wow.
this dude's genius, bro.
It's because they're afraid of the entire world. Well, you have to learn how not to be. And you don't learn that by habituation, because that was the idea. So you take someone who's afraid, they've been conditioned to be afraid, you expose them to what they're afraid of, and then you have them do relaxation exercises so they counter condition. Well, then it was discovered, and they don't have to do the relaxation exercises. It's like, oh, well, it still works, just exposure. It's like, well, they get less afraid when you expose them, because their fear habituates. Like, so then the psychoanalyst said, well, if they get less afraid of that particular thing, the symptoms are just going to substitute, because that fear of an elevator, say, was reflective of a deeper fear of death. Had a client I exposed to an elevator, the doors open, she said, that's a tomb. It's like, and her fantasy about the elevator was, it was a place she was going to die in of a heart attack.
Wow.
Well, people were discomforted and, what would you say, made contemptuous of her foolishness while she was suffering and dying. So social alienation and death, that was the elevator for her.
Wow.
So we expose her to the elevator. What does she learn?
But you got to expose her to social alienation and death, not just the elevator, for her to be less afraid. She'd have to actually be exposed to being alienated by society and dying in order to not be afraid anymore. How the fuck does the elevator help that?
Not to be afraid of the elevator. No. She learns she can tolerate those fears. She learns to be brave. And so the psychoanalysts were exactly
Okay, wait a second. Hold up. That does make sense. Okay, so the fear never goes away.
No, you just conquer it.
Yes, you conquer the fear.
You try to conquer it.
Or yes, you sit in the fear. So if the elevator brings on the fear of death and social alienation,
you just know
she is afraid of the elevator, but since she can conquer the elevator, it helps her a little bit more
with the fear.
With fear.
And you know that the fear's not going to kill you, so you
it's
try to...
It's not the fear.
Yeah.
It's the actual social alienation and death that will make you fearful. But not enough to not get on an elevator. That's kind of dope. That's like, see, that shit is... How the fuck are we... Why are we okay with playing with this? No one... Bro, these people know what they're doing.
Very much.
And we got normal people. Like, I like having these conversations, but I would never try to fucking tell therapists that what they can say.
Never. No.
And that's what he's saying they're trying to do in Canada. They're trying to tell therapists what to say. I would never tell a therapist what they can and cannot say.
These are people that are not therapists.
Yes.
Are telling these people what to say. That's crazy.
Yes. It's just like these people in Congress who don't know shit about technology. They get paid by technology companies and they're like, so can my email, does email stand for like craziness? So does the mailman does he get time off?
Wow.
The mailman that delivers the email, does he get time off ever? Or does he just run around these computer wires nonstop all day? How many employees does it take to send all the emails of one day? Like, these people don't know. That's exactly the same type of people trying to tell these motherfuckers what they can say. Crazy.
Wrong, because if you expose someone to anything they're afraid of, effectively they get less afraid of everything.
Yeah.
Right, and so that's partly why
They learn fear.
psychotherapy is curative.
It helps
in that
with
manner,
fear.
is that people discover that they're bigger than their fears. They don't discover that the fears are trivial.
And that's true. I keep pausing it, but it's true because remember how much anxiety I used to have? I used to have crazy anxiety, and exposure to everything is what, like, I was afraid of a lot of different things, but I ended up just being like, no, I got to do it. I got to follow through. I got to do things. I got to do things.
I gotta force
and then
yourself.
I just slowly became more reintegrated with society and was able to go outside and do all these things. But there was a point when I couldn't even leave the car when we left. It's crazy. Crazy.
No stores. Yeah.
I think that the cult of authenticity is going to be the destruction of all psychotherapy, and then because if the cult of authenticity is that your true authentic feelings are what makes you you, then the attempt to make you brave in spite of your fears is a suppression of your fears. It's almost like a Freudian analysis of your suppressing your sexual desire, and this is not full authenticity.
Yeah, right. Why isn't the fear you?
Right, exactly.
The authentic you.
Exactly, and I think that that's kind of where we're going. It seems like
Yeah, well, so this movement towards unity that we were talking about, this is a place I think where, like, informed liberals and conservatives could meet. It's like, well, there is this authenticity, let's say, and drive for adventure, and you see that elevated to the highest place in some sense in the more careless Disney movies. But the full manifestation of that in an integrated sense is the drive towards authenticity inside this higher order unity. It has to be, because otherwise it's disuniting. It causes fragmentation and chaos. And so it has to be subordinate to a higher order end. And then you might say, well, what is that? Part of that's the reciprocal altruism that the evolutionary biologists are always on about. It's like, some for you, some for me, some for you, some for me, in measure, right? And that makes both of us richer. And so that's part of the higher order.
I was zoning out for a second. My bad. I was thinking about that surprise, about the secret. I was sitting here
Stupid.
I swear, I was just sitting here thinking about.
I know.
It just, I can't get it out of my head. Y'all are gonna go crazy, but anyway.
He used words that I didn't.
Yeah, I wasn't even paying attention. I was thinking about the conversation. I was like, hold up, wait.
It has to be subordinate to a higher order end, and then you might
hold up, my bad.
Authenticity inside this place in some sense in the more careless.
Going. It seems like that.
Okay.
Yeah, well, so this movement towards unity that we were talking about, this is a place I think where, like, informed liberals and conservatives could meet. It's like, well, there is this authenticity, let's say, and drive for adventure, and you see that elevated to the highest place in some sense in the more careless Disney movies. But the full manifestation of that in an integrated sense is the drive towards authenticity inside this higher order unity. It has to be, because otherwise it's disuniting. It causes fragmentation and chaos. And so it has to be subordinate to a higher order end. And then you might say,
like I just said, there has to be some kind of constant. Like, we have to come to a conclusion together, everybody, in order for us to make this shit work. There has to be constants, and that's what fucking biology is and all this shit. Like, men are men, women are women. All these things, they have to matter. They have to be true.
Yeah.
And because they are, first of all, because we already figured that out, and we all come to that conclusion, and then these dumbass conversations that we have don't need to happen.
Yeah.
You can think whatever you want about yourself. We need to mature as a fucking society. So but this is happening on purpose. We are already past this.
Except what was given to us, which what we know in biology, facts, science. Yes.
We are already past this, and we're going backwards right now. That's the thing. That's the fucked up thing.
Definitely.
We don't, like, nothing sacred is how they're trying to make it seem. It comes back to the traditions. They're trying to destroy the traditions. That's what Yuri Bezmenov was talking about. This whole entire thing. Yeah, there was nothing wrong.
Everything was great.
Just have your own traditions. You don't need to fucking destroy traditions. Knock down statues. Do all these things just because. Just because, no, fuck that. This is my country. Bro, it's all of our countries. Get out of here. Like, you gotta, that's why shit just gotta be okay. We just gotta chill for a second, because no matter what, you still gotta live here.
Yep.
God damn, you're gonna burn it down to the ground. And then we will all have nowhere to live, and you'll like that. Then what? Then whatever, like, you want it to be racial division, and then whatever race is the strongest wins. We're outnumbered exponentially by white people. Absolutely. Bro. Like, it doesn't make sense. It really doesn't make sense what we're trying to do here. Like, we could all just get along. We really could. And we can let the idiots have their opinions and just not fuck with them. Like, whatever. You're a racist, go be a fucking racist over there. Leave me alone. But there's plenty of normal people in this world that would get along just fine. And a lot of these people who or on these TikToks talking all this stupid shit, they don't mean what they say. They don't even know any better. They're just saying things. That's how you know a real mature adult ain't thinking about those things. They're thinking about feeding their family, having a good life for their family. They're not talking about, oh, let's change the world, because you know that's not realistic.
No.
Like, what do you mean change the world? All you're doing is you're just sowing unrest. You're just creating division. You're just creating issues. You're not going to change the world like that. You're going to change the world for the worse. Then that's when the overlords step in and say, y'all can't handle this. Now you live by our constant.
See, we gave
and it's not
you a
what you thought.
Yep.
And it's not going to be what y'all little marginalized groups want. It definitely ain't going to be that. They just want you to destabilize everything so they can come in and stabilize it their way.
We gave you a chance to do it on your own.
Yep.
Yo.
Shit is crazy, and it's on purpose. This is what Yuri Bezmenov was talking about. Bezmenov? Bezmenov. Yeah. This is what he was talking about. This type of shit. This is what they're trying to do.
Absolutely.
I'm thinking that that's what Jordan Peterson's saying. Obviously, I added on top of it, but I think that's what he's saying.
Makes sense.
Well, what is the loss? And so it has to be subordinate to a higher order end. And then you might say, well, what is that? Part of that's the reciprocal altruism that the evolutionary biologists are always on about. It's like some for you, some for me.
Exactly.
Some for you, some
gotta
for me.
all
In
compromise.
measure, right? And that makes both of us richer.
Yep.
And so that's part of the higher order unity. And people are intensely reciprocally altruistic.
That's great. It's
good.
Actually, if I can get a re-up on something, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. And so it's authenticity in the service of what? Now, when Pinocchio becomes real, he's already rescued his father, right? So he's established an accord with the tradition that gave birth to him already. He's revitalized that. So when he wakes up, he's not free. He doesn't have any strings on him anymore, but he's already existing in a harmonious relationship with his father, which is a big deal. And one of the lovely things about what happens to me as a consequence of my lectures is that lots of fathers and sons come up to me and say, we've really worked out our relationship. It's like, and they're
That's
both
great.
like, you never seen
Imagine.
Is he
smiles
crying?
like that.
He's crying, bro. Yo, man.
Yo, wow.
Yo, I love this man, bro. He's really, he just made me emotional. This nigga really wants to change the world, bro. He really wants to change the world for the better. He really cares, bro.
Oh,
he really cares, man. I love this man with a passion, bro. I don't care how that sounds.
That's crazy.
He just made me emotional, bro. A father and son's relationship is the most important relationship to a son and a father. You know,
He really
it reciprocates
is.
to both of them. It what's the word? It like, I can't even think of the word. But it helps both of them.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
Wow.
That just hit me, bro.
They're both like, you never seen smiles like that. It's really something to be stopped on the street and to be told that. To see people so joyful about that, because it's their heart desire, you know. And that's that integration of that drive to autonomy with the family, with the father, with the mother,
so much.
the broader community.
I know.
All that has to be in a higher order unity.
Yeah, exactly. And I think
That's the conservative insistence, right?
Exactly. Is that there are the wall, as you said before, the walls have to exist. You can have autonomy, but the autonomy has to exist within the walls. And then once you let the autonomy or the rationalism destroy all the walls,
Yeah,
But there's
I
no
need to talk to
autonomy
Jordan
without the
Peterson in
walls.
real
There's
life.
just
I know.
chaos.
I need to talk to this dude in real
Wow,
life,
man.
bro. I would love to talk to Jordan Peterson, bro.
Imagine. He's like, he makes me understand. Like, if I just feel like,
I'm happy you suggested this video, man.
I just feel like he would, like, just talk to us, teach us some things.
I have real conversation, bro. Just
like
real conversation.
I always feel like I get a new, like, I know what my point of view is on things, and I know it's he just helps me understand my points
Bro, he about to
even
make
more.
me emotional, bro. I'm trying to keep this back. Like, I'm just thinking about.
I know.
That's how I be feeling in the chat when people be saying shit to me like that, bro.
Yes.
That's why I've cried multiple times when people have just told me that I've done. Yo, this dude is he's hitting me, bro. Hold on, we gotta end this video,
Yeah.
bro. Yo,
We'll do more. There's another one.
yeah.
There's another one.
God damn, bro.
Yeah, he's a good dude, man. He's a really, really, really He's genuine.
Shout out Jordan Peterson, man.
We love you, man.
Love you, man, for real. I would love to talk to you. I would love to have a conversation with you. Maybe we get you on the Flawdcast at some point, bro.
Yeah.
Maybe. I'm going to reach out. But
I just want to listen.
Me too, man. Me too. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you be notified whenever we drop.
Flawd's booty.
Definitely subscribe to the Daily Wire. I guess there's more of this on the Daily Wire. So they just got a fan. They caught me with that. I already enjoyed the first episode we had, but this is like an amazing show. My mind as soon as they start talking, it just automatically can keep up.
Yep.
Which usually I would not be able to. I cannot sit there and listen to these type of conversations.
I have a hard time.
Me too.
A really hard time. But
you can tell we're growing up.
Yeah, I know.
Crazy, man.
But he really does. He puts it in perspective and helps me understand.
And it's not like he dumbs it down.
No,
he doesn't dumb it down.
No, because he does say things I don't understand, words and
but
stuff.
But he's just very good at articulating himself.
And he always uses examples and it's like he really does. He helps people, like the average person, just understand what's going on.
Bro, I might have to get Jordan Peterson tattooed across my belly, bro. Something. Shout out Jordan Peterson, man, for real. Again, I already said like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can be notified whenever we drop.
Flawd's booty.
Remember to always stay flawed. Don't you dare try to play flawed. And if you see me in the streets, then you better say,
hey, Flawd.
For me to go to sleep at night. I
had a dream that I could do my thing, and everywhere I went the people knew my name. Some people hated on the truth I bring, but now I use the hating just to fuel my plane. I had a dream that I could do my thing, and everywhere I went the people knew my name. Some people hated on the truth I bring, but now I use the hating just to fuel my plane.